Mariners take on the White Sox. Game's about to start. Had to wait a little bit, had to do some babysitting, had to run some errands, but it's the life of being famous is that you have to take care of the little stuff too, you know. The little people still matter. In this case, very little people. Happy birthday to my niece, by the way. Love you, Eleanor. Um, let's talk about the Chicago White Sox, who I believe are 14-33 on the season. They're coming off being swept by the Chicago Cubs, and the Mariners are coming off sweeping the San Diego Padres. And if you want to be a Mariner historian, you could argue this is often when things tend to get a little nutty. But I think the White Sox might just be so bad that it doesn't matter. And let me take this moment real quick. First of all, if something goes bad and you're searching for my YouTube channel, thank you for the view. And if you're looking for some haha, the White Sox swept the Mariners, if that happens, I don't think it will, but if you're looking for that, thanks for viewing my channel. I hope your baseball team gets better. I truly do, because let me just take a second to talk about how embarrassing it is that we have teams like the Rockies and the White Sox and the Pirates and the Marlins who are light years away from competition, and it's bad for baseball. It is bad for baseball to have teams, particularly the White Sox and the Rockies. The Rockies may make you forget about the White Sox, who won all of 41 games last year. And I think that the Rockies are on pace to win. Well, they're 8-38, so they're on pace to win about 25 to 30, I think, maybe 35, something like that. It's bad. It's really bad. But don't let the Rockies crappiness make you forget about the White Sox crappiness. It's bad for baseball to have teams like this. Now, the White Sox are building something, I think. They have some good prospects on the farm, but they are light years away from that plan being completed. And that's unfortunate because a team in Chicago shouldn't be playing like a small market team. I don't think small market teams actually exist. Now, there are smaller market teams, but let's not excuse billionaires from not spending money. Let's not excuse that. And let's take a look at what the White Sox have done so far in 2025. So, like I said, the White Sox are 14-33. They are fifth in what has been actually a pretty good AL Central this year. Four teams, all with winning records. I guess you can guess which team does not have that winning record. Let's look at whether they rank in some very basic stats. Their offense stinks out loud. They have scored 157 runs. That's 28th in baseball out of 30. They are dead last in batting average. They are 28th in on-base percentage, and they are 29th in slugging percentage. This offense is atrocious. The pitching is bad, but it's not quite as bad. An ERA of 4.23, which ranks 22nd. A whip, walks, hits, innings pitched of 1.41. A batting average allowed of 253, and they have had 13 quality starts. That ranks 24th in baseball. So the strength of this team, like it was last year, I think it's easy to forget, as bad as the White Sox were. They had two really good pitchers in that rotation for most of the year in Eric Fetty and Garrett Crochet. Now, both those guys no longer on the team, but they have a couple of decent little pitchers, starting with Shane Smith, the Rule 5 draft pick of all Rule 5 draft picks so far. He's been outstanding, an ERA just above 2, and the Seattle Mariners will face him on Thursday. They will face Davis Martin on Monday night, and Davis Martin has a 3.65 ERA. A little bit of luck there, but a solid little starting pitcher. And I should know who's pitching on Tuesday if I was good at this, but we know I'm not, so let's look that up. Bryce Wilson. Bryce Wilson stinks. Bryce Wilson looked like a thing for a little bit for the Atlanta Braves. Not so much. Not so much. So let's just kind of take a look and see who some of the key players are for their offense. Like I said, it is in a ferocious offensive group. Luis Robert has been absolutely awful this year. 184 average, 309 slugging percentage, just a 282 on base percentage. He has struck out 52 times at 152 at bats. Andrew Vaughn, who teases every once in a while with some offensive upside, former third overall pick of the draft. He's got an OPS not above 530. Miguel Vargas has probably been their most consistent hitter, 245, 328, 421. Lennon Sosa is their leader in average at 265, but that comes with a 283 on base percentage and 368 slugging percentage. I don't need to read anymore. These guys stink. It is an embarrassing roster. And the fact that it's not the worst roster in baseball is so pathetic. So pathetic. It's an insult to the Rockies much more than it is compliment to the White Sox. Yeesh. So the key to this series, don't lose to a crappy baseball team. And I think it's fair to say that if you don't win this series, it is awful. It's awful. Now, if you go 1-2 in this series, it's a 4-2 road trip, and normally that's good enough. But you have to adjust expectations. After you sweep that series against San Diego, you need to win 2 out of 3. I'm not saying you have to sweep. Sweeps are really hard. Really, really, really hard. Any loss is going to seem like a bad one because it is. But you can step back and say, okay, they won 2 out of 3. That one loss they had was embarrassing. Heaven forbid they lose 2. It's just a really bad baseball team. It's a really bad baseball team. The other thing about the Chicago White Sox is their starters have done a pretty nice job. Oh, is it a bad bullpen? Oh, is it a bad bullpen? I want to pull up some of these ERAs just to take a look and have some fun and realize that the Seattle Mariner bullpen might be okay. It's so bad. It's such a bad bullpen. Now, look, Mike Vasil has an ERA of 1.98. That also comes with more walks than strikeouts over his 27 and 1/3 innings. Bryce Wilson. Oh, he's not in the bullpen. Why am I talking about Bryce Wilson? Steven Wilson has actually pitched pretty well with a 2.03 ERA. But they've got Cam Boozer, who stinks. They have Brandon Isert, who stinks. They have Jordan Leisure, who stinks. They have former Mariner legend Penn Murphy, who stinks. This bullpen is just awful. And if you're wondering who their closer is, so is everyone else because they have 3 saves on the season. It's all been different dudes. Cam Boozer has 1, Vasil has 1, Isert has 1. It's just an atrocious roster, and it's embarrassing. Have I mentioned it's embarrassing? If you get a lead, or even if you fall behind, you've got a great chance of winning. And look, the White Sox had won 4 or 5 before this, and I'm not saying that, again, I'm repeating myself because I love to. I'm not saying that they have to sweep, but any and every loss to the White Sox is going to be a really bad one. And look, Shane Smith, who's been excellent, due for some regression. He is not Jacob deGrom. He's pitched like it, but he's not. The Mariners should sweep this series. The Mariners should win every game they play against the Chicago White Sox. I'm not saying they will, but they should. And you know what you should do? You should hit like. You should hit subscribe. You should please support Simply Seattle, the very best in Seattle sports gear. Awesome stuff for the Mariners, Seahawks, Kraken. Use code MOLLYWOP15, MOWLLYWHOP15 at checkout to save 15%. We so appreciate Simply Seattle. And I so appreciate everyone who's checked out these shows with Locked On. It's been going great so far. We've gotten almost universally positive feedback, which is almost scary because there's probably somebody hiding that is just waiting to tell us that we're doing a bad job. It's probably not true. It's just the paranoia in me. It's been so nice, and I just appreciate your guys' support so much because, yeah, it's been a rough time, but you guys have made it a little bit easier. Actually, quite a bit easier. The White Sox stink. Go sweep. I changed my mind. You have to sweep the series. Go White Mariners. Go Mariners. Go Mariners.